The Shema and V'ahavta can be found on page 39. Please listen as Donald James reads aloud this beautiful translation of the V'ahavta at the bottom of page 39, written by the writer and poet Marge Piercy.
So you shall love what is holy with all of your courage, with all of your passion, with all of your strength. Let the words that have come down shine in our words and our actions. We must teach our children to know and to understand them. We must speak about what is good and holy within our homes. When we are working and when we are at play, when we lie down and when we get up, let the work of our hands speak of goodness. Let it run in our blood and glow from our doors and windows.
Amen. Standing or seated as is your tradition, we join together with our breath, the source of our power, to make the sound of Echad, the sound of one community, together to affirm our shared values. Shema. turn to page 40. If you're standing, you're right where you need to be. Anyone else who wants to join us on our feet is welcome. Your body's telling you you need to be seated. Listen carefully. Second paragraph, bottom of page 40, we sing Mi Chamocha and continue into Sur Yisrael, this affirmation of our ability to be resourceful and resilient. Sur Yisrael, our support, our rock.
Please turn to page 41, the last paragraph, and join me in reading these sacred words beginning with, in the Book of Life. In the Book of Life, blessing and peace, and for good livelihood, may we and all your people be remembered and written for good life and for peace. Bless you, Hashem, who creates peace. And now Drew Porter will sing Besefer Chaim, the last paragraph, in Hebrew.
My covenant for this morning is that as we write this new book, this new year, we not forget what was in the old one. Besefer Chaim, beracha v'shalom, ufarnasa tova nezacher, v'nikatev lefanecha, anachnu b'chol amcha beit Yisrael, l'chaim tovim u'shalom. Besefer Chaim, beracha v'shalom, ufarnasa tova nezacher, v'nikatev lefanecha, anachnu b'chol amcha beit Yisrael, בשלום, ופרנסה טובה נזכר, וניקטהו לפניך, אנחנו, בכל עמך בית ישראל, לחיים טובים ולשלום.
Amen. Before we move into the Amidah, our Yikon President Beth Chaim would like to share a few words with you.
Shana Tova. I hope everyone has had a wonderful New Year and an easy fast. I wanted to take a few moments of your time this morning to give thanks. First, I want to thank all of you who have rallied and supported me, our board, and our community with a lot of changes in a very short period of time. It's been an honor to work with our current board on our shared vision. The next person that we need to take a moment to recognize is Nila Arumagan. Nila runs our Beth Chaim office. Nila, I know you prefer to work your magic behind the scenes, but could you please stand up? Where's our Nila? She's behind the scenes. Sorry, she must be here for this. That's all. Yes, I will. So as I said, the next person we all need to take a moment to recognize is Nila Rumagan. Nila runs our Beth Chaim office. Nila, I know you prefer to work behind the scenes, but thank you for coming up. Presidents and boards come and go, but Nila has been our constant the last 12 years. Our community is not a job to her. Nila has her hand in every single thing that happens at Beth Chaim. She truly is the wizard behind the curtain. Thank you, Nila, for your willingness to ride this roller coaster with us. We love you. Okay. I also want to thank this community for allowing me to be up here sitting in this position. This is not a place I would have thought I would be 20 years ago, but God works in mysterious ways. Judaism has always been a large part of my family. My parents met on a kibbutz in Israel. My father's dad was the sweetest and kindest rabbi in Moel in Netanya. I grew up with my brother Yoel and sister Tali in a very close, loving Jewish family in Alameda. We were involved in Temple Israel, and I camped every summer at Camp Young Judea. Our family had even moved to Israel for a few of my teenage years, so my roots were deep. I was content. That was my story. Little did I know how much it would change. The first time I met Rabbi Dan was almost 20 years ago. I had just started dating this incredibly beautiful, intelligent young Jewish woman, and she had invited me to come with her to the hospital where her first nephew was being born. I met many of her family members that day, as well as Rabbi Dan, who was huddled over a newborn Ethan Blyer, filling him and his parents with blessings. I was struck by his presence right away. He was not your typical rabbi. He was all in, bubbly, caring, and he had impressive eyebrows. Within those first few months of dating Kelly, I knew I was in the right place. I had found a caring soul from a closely knit, loving family, and she relished being Jewish. I had found my Basher. Everything after that moved quickly, starting with our courtship to our wedding led by Rabbi Dan, the blessing of our home by Rabbi Dan, the birth of our daughter Kyla with a naming ceremony led by Rabbi Dan and members of Beth Chaim that I barely knew. The birth and bris of our two boys, Noah and Eli, led by Rabbi Dan. Sunday school mornings suddenly surrounded us in a new community. Lifelong friendships were built here in these walls. The B'nai Mitzvah of all three of our children were led with kindness and love by Rabbi Dan in our sanctuary and backyard. This man has been present at many of the most joyous occasions in my life. Time catches up with us, as it always does, and pain and loss creeps into our lives. Loss of grandparents, of aunts and uncles, and then the greatest loss of my father-in-law, Ralph Byer. Rabbi Dan and Zoe were there when Pops passed. The whole community was there to share our grief and carry us through the transition. Just as we had invested in them, our community was now investing in us. Despite the world being locked down in COVID, Rabbi Dan sang a melody for his dear friend as we carried him out of his home. At that moment, something changed in me. As we said goodbye to my father-in-law, who had spent so much of his time on the Beth Chaim board, I knew it was my turn to step up. Just as Ralph and Kathy had done to ensure this community survived and thrived for my family, for their grandchildren, I needed to do the same. Beth Chaim was already ingrained in so much of my life. My deepest relationships were blossoming from this community. I savored every upcoming Brotherhood ski trip and look forward to being with my Chavurah friends. At this point, I understood that I could give more, and I should do more. A shift was happening as my wife and I looked at our children growing and changing before our eyes. I do this for them. I do it for their children's children. I do it hoping and praying that this building and this community will still be here for my grandchildren, so my children can give and receive the joy and protection that Beth Chaim brought to my family, l'dor v'dor, from generation to generation. Thank you, Rabbi Dan, for being the constant, caring, and loving guide through most of the most important parts of not only my life, but for all of those that sit here today. And many other generations over the last 30 years, you have always been there to celebrate our highs and to carry us through our losses. We thank you, Rabbi, for giving yourself to us, for working to make all of us better people. In my heart, I believe that what we leave here for our children's children is just as important as their future financial security. Many, including myself, would say it is worth much more. Together we are building and securing the next generation of members that will become their closest friends. We are bringing in the next rabbi who will encourage and teach our children to be better and stronger Jews. This place can help them find their besheret. This place will be their sanctuary, a place that they look to for joy and security when in pain or need. We are looking for your support and your resources to make it possible. We need you to get involved, to take advantage of all that Beth Chaim has to offer, to show up to the new exciting activities that Larry and the board plan for you, to invite your friends, to invest your time into friendships with other members, to volunteer for an event, to be a part of this community in a meaningful way. Our community needs each and every one of you to help make this a place where we all want to be and to ensure that we continue to thrive. We have short-term financial needs and some long-term goals. We need funds for both planning and implementation of these goals. We need to show both our interim and settled rabbis that Beth Chaim is a place they can also thrive. We need to be gracious. We need to be welcoming and embrace our new clergy. We need to be able to put together a desirable and competitive package with good pay and benefits, a package that brings out the best and the right rabbi. Your generosity today helps to make us the community we strive to be in the future. We are at a pivotal point in our synagogue's history, just as Rabbi Dan said during his Rosh Hashanah opening Genesis Devar. times history began with 25 couples who decided what kind of community they wanted our synagogue to be. We want all of you to be a part of our next chapter. We have a responsibility that goes well beyond our lifetimes, a rare opportunity and a blessing to continue building something that will honor us long into the future and secure a thriving future Jewish home for our community as well as for our children's children. I hope you'll all join us on this journey. Shana Tova.
Thank you, Ari. So, for many years, I have always checked in before the Amidah on Yom Kippur, especially checking in with those who are fasting. How are you feeling? Fasting is not about making us sick. I remind you that if you're feeling ill or have any condition that fasting may exacerbate, you are not permitted to fast. The diabetics among us, and I'm one, are not permitted to fast. The prophet Isaiah Yeshai reminds us that God is not impressed with our commitment to fasting. Fasting itself is just a rote behavior. But fasting done with heart has meaning and purpose. It allows us to listen to our body, even the pangs of hunger and thirst, without having to fulfill its cry. Being hungry ourselves, we can more deeply hear the words of Isaiah, who taught us, share your bread with the hungry, and the down and out poor bring into your home. Fasting can move us into an altered state of consciousness where we can have a clarity that we might not otherwise be able to feel. Remember, our tradition teaches us that God is less interested in our rituals and more interested in our humanity.
The words Shema Kolenu, they mean, hear our voices. As this plaintive melody is about to fill the sanctuary, we, all of us, are filled with longing, a longing to connect with the divine spirit through our passion and our compassionate hearts. Please sing with us in Judith. Shema, 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 Shema,
During this time of Amidah, we enter a time of personal meditative prayer. So we're all invited to take a few moments for silent reflection. You know, sometimes we hear this and we go, what are we supposed to do? This is